of Saints and Sinners by Morningstar Writes. Chapter 11, The Favour. Alastor's hit list, in no particular order. Number 1, Fox. Number 2, Valentino. Number 3, Velvet. What is all this? Angel Dust rummages through the pile of photographs. Wait, it's those two? Oh my god! Charlie tries to scoop up as many photos as she can. Okay, everyone, please stop looking at these. This is not part of our schedule. It must be an awful prank or something. The entire hotel is covered with sheets upon sheets of pictures, and every single person is looking at them, collecting them, talking about them. And Alastor, after recovering from the initial shock, outrage, and mortification of it all, gingerly picks up a couple of the photographs as well. Most of them were mildly embarrassing but bearable. Alastor was used to sinners whispering rumors about him, trying to spread gossip as a means to dethrone him, carrying Lucifer in his arms, simply a side effect of battle. Lucifer's hand on his chest, just an accident caught on camera. He has no respect for the denizens of hell, and he's not worried about their opinion because he knows that they know he'll eat their souls if he really needed to. But what was completely unacceptable was this. The picture of him in his private radio tower, lying down with a gaping wound and on the verge of death. He clearly looks like he's struggling here, weakened and needing help. And that for some perplexing reason, the king of hell was there lending a hand? He crushes the photo in his hand, feels Lucifer staring at him, flicks his eyes over, and angrily grits out, "What?" Alastor's voice is purposefully lowered, quiet, and hushed, so that only he can hear him. There's that familiar god-awful expression on Lucifer's face, his brows furrowed with worry. Always with the worry. Lucifer hesitates and mulls over his next words. I'll handle this. Without waiting for a response, Lucifer soars up into the air. He spreads out all 6 of his wings, commanding all attention onto him, and he starts to look different. Blood-red eyes, sharp horns protruding outwards from his forehead, a long tail swishing in the air. And Alastor has to admit, he's absolutely mesmerizing to look at. It's his first time seeing Lucifer like this, and it's obvious how he's the most powerful reigning monarch. His sheer strength radiates like the sun, warm yet authoritative, the solitary source of light at the heart of hell. The sinners around him start to kneel down in reverence, and he has to fight the urge to follow suit. So then, Lucifer's voice echoes loudly. Someone's been bored. It's deadly quiet as everyone waits for his next words. Lucifer casually holds up a picture. Don't tell me you think these are real. There's a smattering of whispers that sweeps through the room, but Lucifer silences them by raising a single hand up. I mean, we're in hell. Are you really going to take everything at face value? And why would we spend any time together? This? He holds up a picture of them holding hands at the radio tower. This? Alastor's hands on him in the back alley. And even this, Lucifer bent down on the rooftop, are clearly fake. Someone's gotten really into photo editing. He deliberately drops the photographs, letting them flutter slowly onto the ground. You know, we've got nothing in common. I mean, sure, we have jobs here at the hotel, but we fight all the time. We can't even stand being in the same room together. Talk about dysfunctional, am I right? But I've seen you perform together at the jazz club, someone yells out. Lucifer, to his credit, doesn't react at all. Oh, what a shock. We work together, so we do errands together. You caught us. Lucifer rolls his eyes. It was just an evening shift, nothing more. The hotel guests start to look at each other unsurely, still holding onto the photos in their hands. Seriously, don't just believe what you see. Lucifer shrugs. There is nothing going on between us. He speaks with such confident finality that everyone seems to believe him enough, muttering quietly in the background. I suppose. Yeah, why would he even be with the radio demon? Shame, though, these pics are kind of cute. Alastor, you okay? Charlie's voice cuts through the whispers, and she places a reassuring hand on his arm. Oh, I'm absolutely perfect, my dear. Alastor smiles broadly, but he doesn't understand. Doesn't understand, 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 doesn't understand. Why? He's much more enraged after hearing Lucifer brush off all those moments together, all that time spent with each other, all those days, hours, minutes, seconds, and crushing them into absolutely nothing. Really? You look a bit... Keep your eyes to yourself, Alastor snaps. Charlie instantly turns away to give him space, but he's too aggravated to even notice. He needs to leave, so he does. And Alastor adds another person to his hit list. Number 4, Lucifer. It's terribly awkward to be in the spotlight, both literally and figuratively. Lucifer can hear murmurs reverberate around him, and it's a strange feeling knowing that everyone is talking about one thing only, which is him and Alastor, and whatever supposed relationship they were in, even though the truth of their connection was hardly salacious. When he lands back on the stage, he realizes that Alastor had disappeared sometime in the middle of his speech. Lucifer taps Charlie on the shoulder, and she pauses, sweeping up the photographs to look at him. Hey, where'd the bellhop go? Charlie looks worried. I don't know, but Alastor seemed upset, Dad. Oh, I bet he was. Lucifer sighs out. I doubt he'd want anyone to see these. He has one specific image in mind, the one where he's healing his wound. And he's aware that Alastor hates looking weak, detests having any sort of vulnerability exposed, and that he would do anything in his power to get that image obliterated from this realm. As for Lucifer... Okay, yes, it's rather mortifying to have their private moments publicized in this way, but it's not like he ever cared about the opinions of sinners. If it's out there, it's out there. He's more concerned about... Oh fuck, why was his first thought about how it made Alastor feel? Actually, Dad, he seemed more angry after you spoke up there, Charlie says quietly. Oh. Lucifer tilts his head in confusion. What? Why? I mean, I only said that because... He trails off, not wanting the hotel guests to overhear, and finishes the sentence in his head. It's just the easiest way for Alastor, Lucifer thinks. If it were fake, if they weren't anything to each other, it would mean Alastor had never been injured and Lucifer wouldn't have healed him. All those pictures were just hearsay, half-hearted efforts to unseat Alastor from his power, and that he still is, and always will be, the prideful, infallible overlord. Charlie waits patiently for Lucifer to finish his sentence, but when it's apparent that he's not going to speak anymore, she gives him a sympathetic smile. Okay, Dad. Don't worry about it. Instead, she whirls around to address the audience and leans into her microphone. We're just going to take a quick intermission. If you can all pick up the pictures and hand them to me, I'll just confiscate them, and then we can continue the party, yeah? More champagne for everyone. Dan? Oh, sure. Lucifer conjures up a champagne fountain, and everyone collectively oohs and ahs over the sight. But as he's watching the rest of the guests slowly settle back into celebration mode, he's still too distracted by Alastor's absence to enjoy the party. Sorry, Charlie. I'll be right back, Lucifer says hurriedly, flapping his great wings in the air. And so he flies out to look for him. It's funny, flying around like this, looking for Alastor. It all feels strangely familiar, just like when Lucifer was searching for him in Pentagram City. Back then, Alastor had hid in an alleyway to talk with the V's. This time, he's not sure where he could be. His red eyes scan the landscape carefully, still in his full demon form. Where are you? And then he recalls what Nifty had said to him the first time Alastor went missing. Alastor's in his radio tower right now. He's always there when he needs to think. Are you really going to be there? Lucifer mutters. He glances over at the red building, trying to see if there's a shadowy figure behind the windows. He flies over anyways, enters through one of the broken windows, and... in the rubble, Alastor stands there silently, ominously. He turns around slowly when he hears Lucifer's arrival, and Alastor's eyes are so cold that he has to take a step back. What are you doing here, sir? Lucifer notes with some bitterness that he had reverted back to his using his title. You left, he says cautiously.
What a remarkable observation.
Alastor's eyes tick away into radio dials glowing bright red in the darkness.
Well, this is quite good timing. I have some urgent business to discuss with you.
Lucifer narrows his eyes at this. There's an oppressive animosity in the air, foreboding in nature. What is it?
I do believe it's time to end our deal. It's been several months, has it not? We've accomplished so much together.
Alastor's tentacles start crawling out of his back, and he steps forward. 1 step. 2.
But I suppose, to you, none of that really mattered, did it?
Lucifer's eyes widen at this. Hey, wait. Alastor interrupts his protest by striking the ground with his radio cane, the sound echoing in the room.
Regardless, I know what favor to ask of you now.
Alastor grins maliciously and snaps his neck to the side.
Would you like to know?
Alastor doesn't wait for his response.
Fight me as you are now in your full demon form, and if you hold back, I will fucking end you.
You can't be serious. Lucifer scowls. Why in the hell would you want that?
Did you forget the terms of our deal?
Alastor's entire body starts to glow green.
I specifically said no killing, no maiming, and no questions asked.
I'm pretty sure fighting would fall under the maiming category. Still, Lucifer feels fire brimming within his hands, his body tensing up for a fight.
Oh, but how can a lowly demon like me ever hurt you, your majesty? Don't tell me that you are afraid.
Alastor launches forward without a warning, and they strike blow for blow. Alastor chasing and Lucifer flying, the crunch of stone underneath their feet, and this? None of this is fun! How long are you going to keep this up? Lucifer shouts, blocking Alastor's punches. He smashes hard, solid, heavy, firm weight that hurts so much more than it normally does.
Until I eliminate you!
Alastor snarls, and it's like they're back to square one, right at the starting point of their relationship. Even worse, because he's never seen Alastor's anger directed at him in this way. And he loathes brawling with him like this, because up until now, they've only been fighting for fun, and now he knows what Alastor is like when he's fighting to hurt. That's not a good idea for you. Lucifer kicks Alastor so hard he crashes right on the ground. Don't forget who you're dealing with. Alastor growls anyway, struggling to get himself back up onto his feet. There's a scent of blood in the air. Lucifer's clothes are getting wrecked. His punch bruises Alastor right in the face, and then Alastor jumps at him, forcing them to roll around in the wreckage of his radio tower. What the hell is wrong with you? Lucifer throws him against the wall so hard that it cracks underneath his body, and Alastor looks at him with unadulterated hate.
You!
Alastor's voice is pure radio static.
You're the reason!
Me! Lucifer falters for a moment, and it's enough time for Alastor to grab him and slam him down onto the floor, his claws ripping into his shoulders threateningly.
Fake pictures!
Alastor growls, leaning in close.
You can't stand to be seen with me. Don't want anyone knowing that you're fraternizing with the radio demon!
And the puzzle pieces finally slot in Lucifer's mind. In a flash, Lucifer smashes his head against Alastor and grabs him by his shirt, shoves him against the wall, and pins him there so that he can't run away, get attacked, can't ignore him again! You're wrong! Lucifer yells, desperately, painfully. I'm fine with being seen together, alright? I was just trying to help you. I said it was fake so that no one would know you were actually injured. And did you really want to give the Visa satisfaction that they showed evidence of you at your weakest? Alastor seems to hesitate at his words. His eyes slowly morph back to their usual red, but he still looks down at him callously.
Well. Are you saying that you were doing this for me?
Alastor cackles humorlessly at this.
Oh, sir, I thought you said you weren't a liar.
I'm not! Lucifer fists his shirt so tightly he practically rips it underneath his grip, cloth bunching up into a million little wrinkles, but Alastor merely smiles at his outburst.
I can't think of a reason why you would do such a thing. Can you? Aren't we nothing to each other?
And that's when Lucifer's last bit of self-control snaps. That's it! Lucifer shouts, yanking Alastor down so that they're face to face. Everyone's your friend, except for me, huh? Has it ever occurred to you that maybe I'm doing this because I want to? And Alastor looks completely confused at this. So confused that the tentacles start to retreat into his back, and he looks almost like himself again.
What are you trying to say?
Alastor's voice is intentionally neutral. Your Lucifer's words cascade out like a waterfall. You matter to me, okay? And even if this whole fucking time you were just pretending to like me, I liked hanging out with you, asshole, despite everything. Lucifer laughs shakily. Maybe because of everything. He's met with absolute silence, and Lucifer wants to just vanish away. Move to a different city, maybe. Will heaven take him back from his personal hell? Lucifer finally looks up at Alastor, and he sees that his dear ears are completely upright and wrapped attention. He's still pushing him up against the wall, so Lucifer hastily lets go. His tail twitches irately as he waits for a reply, and he can feel Alastor's eyes following the movement.
Who?
Alastor stops, coughs for a second, and his radio filter slips away.
Who says I was pretending?
They stare at each other wordlessly, and he doesn't know how to react. Doesn't know what to say. But what Lucifer can feel abundant in the air is something shifting. And he swallows. Prove it then. His ultimatum lingers between them, and for a moment neither of them move. Eventually, Alastor's eyes dart madly from left to right, like he's looking for a way to escape. Lucifer sighs at this. Should have expected this to be his reaction. Seriously, how else could it possibly be between them? And he's about to fly back to the hotel when he sees Alastor's hands reach out, and he braces himself for whatever incoming violent action is about to happen. But it never does. Instead, Alastor gently places his hands onto Lucifer's arms, wraps his long fingers around his wrists, and gradually pulls him closer, distance shrinking between them 1 centimeter at a time, and Lucifer walks forward, almost hypnotized by how carefully Alastor is bringing him in. His every touch is so slow, so unsure, so unlike the self-confident manner that Alastor speaks, fights, interacts with others. And like two magnets attracting, Alastor finally pulls him in for an embrace. His long arms wrap around Lucifer's shoulders, and Alastor brings his hand up, runs his fingers through Lucifer's hair to tug it slightly, makes him feel tingles that zigzag all the way through him. And after a moment, Lucifer tentatively brings his arms around Alastor's waist, marveling at how tiny it is. They aren't fully touching, and there's a distance between them because he's trying to avoid having his horns dig into Alastor's face. But he would have to rate this as one of his top 10 hugs, for sure. Even though the sharpness of Alastor's body juts into him uncomfortably, even though they're both bruised and battered, even though Lucifer is utterly emotionally drained, he doesn't want to let go. Still, there's an inexplicable sense that Alastor was gearing up to say goodbye.
I suppose we're done now.
Alastor drops his arms away from his shoulders, and Lucifer follows suit, already missing the warmth. Done what?
Alastor squints at him, exaggerated. Our deal is over.
Not a deal. Alastor ignores the interruption.
I've cashed in my favor. Shall we bid each other farewell?
And Lucifer has never been more certain in his life. I don't think so.
You don't, Alastor echoes.
Nope. And Lucifer's words start rolling out with reckless abandon. You can't spend months and months together and then one day leave and act as though we have nothing. You can't. Or at least I can't. I mean, I like being with you, which I never would have expected, by the way. Lucifer wheezes. I mean, you? Ha! Not in a million years. But I don't want to pretend that you're nothing to me because... He hesitates and decides to take the first step. You're my friend. Lucifer mumbles under his breath. Alastor's face flickers with surprise, and then he cups his hand to his ear.
What was that?
You heard me the first time, douchebag.
Lucifer growls, and Alastor shakes his head, his grin stretching widely. Oh, I can assure you that I did not. Can you please repeat that?
You're my friend.
And then Lucifer can feel his cheeks burn from hot.
Oh, God, I'm so stupid. You're making me stupid.
Well, I had no part in that. You've always been this way.
Pretty sure my brain went a munch after I met you, actually.
So, Alastor's dear ears prick up at this. You think I'm your friend?
Enough!
Lucifer is so mortified that he transforms out of his demon form. Horns receding, tail disappearing, wings tucked away, and he feels incredibly small under the watchful gaze of Alastor.
I get it, okay? It's one-sided. If you want to leave, I can't... I'm not going to stop you.
The teasing glint in Alastor's eye disappears, and he tilts his head to the side. Oh, you! The more we interact, the more intriguing you become, and you're...
Alastor hesitates, the discomfort obvious in his voice.
My friend, too. He tries out the word in his mouth. Unfortunately.
Of course he has to tag that on. You always need to have the last word, huh?
Lucifer groans. The tension is completely broken, and Alastor smirks, leaning against his radio cane mischievously. You know me, he says. Lucifer.
So, Lucifer's face is probably permanently red now. He's extremely embarrassed by everything. And there's an incredible sense of ease, too, so freeing that he can feel a skip in his step. They're walking back to the hotel, and he glances over at Alastor, only to realize just how utterly messed up he looks. Tattered overcoat, discolored bruises, hair falling out of his ponytail, and he recoils at the sight. Oh my God. Lucifer points at Alastor. You look awful.
Alastor's eye twitches at this. Why don't you look at yourself first before commenting on others?
Oh crap. Is there a mirror or something here?
They both end up checking the reflections on a shiny surface, and Lucifer runs a hand through his hair in an attempt to tidy it up. Alastor tugs off his hair tie and tries to tie it back, but winces at the exertion.
Does it hurt?
Lucifer asked carefully. You couldn't hurt me if you tried. Alastor glares, but is half-hearted. He's still struggling to put his hair back into a ponytail, and Lucifer is suddenly struck with the urge to ask if he wanted help. It's on the tip of his tongue, but he doesn't ask, and Alastor manages to pull it back into a ponytail anyway, so whatever.
So, what now?
Lucifer tugs off his red overcoat, although it's essentially shredded cloth at this point.
Do you want to go back to the party?
But of course. We made a commitment, did we not? We have yet to perform the musical finale. They start walking again, and Lucifer's not sure when they decided to go for a stroll. Teleporting would have been much faster.
What about the photos? They're probably still in there somewhere.
I had completely forgotten about them. Alastor taps his chin thoughtfully. How curious.
You don't care anymore.
Well, I suppose if they think it's fake, it's no harm, no foul. Alastor shrugs. Besides, I'm no stranger to being the topic of conversation, and based on your little performance earlier, I assume that those pictures don't bother you.
At first, they did.
Lucifer confesses.
But, I kind of think
something good came out of it. Lucifer finishes the sentence in his head. Alastor looks at him inquisitively, and he just sighs.
Honestly, not a big deal at all,
Lucifer says instead. They reach the hotel entrance, and Lucifer pushes the door, and when it swings open, every single guest turns to stare at them. The attention makes his skin crawl, but he has to admit that it's understandable. They're both kind of a wreck to look at, ridiculously beat up, tie askew, and hair almost up like they had just come back from a fight. Which they did. Charlie scampers over, her eyes sweeping over them with open-faced concern. Did you two fight over this? Look at the state of you! So much blood! And Alastor, your jacket is absolutely ruined! God, I didn't... Are you okay?
Charlie, we're perfectly fine. Lucifer tries to reassure her. In fact, we're better than ever, right? He turns to Alastor, but he's already walked away without waiting for either of them, his long legs taking him to the stage in an instant. Lucifer sweats a bit under the pitying look that Charlie shoots at him. Okay, I know this doesn't look great, but just trust me.
I do trust you, Dad.
Except Charlie's face betrays her total lack of confidence. Lucifer decides to change the topic altogether. Why don't we go and perform the finale? We weren't away for that long, were we?
Are you sure? Dad, you really don't have to. If you want to go to your room or something, I would completely understand.
No. I would love to play our song, okay? Don't worry about me.
Charlie finally relents, and together they make their way back to the podium. When he conjures up his fiddle, he can feel Nifty tugging at his pant leg, her one eye looking at him curiously. You look like a mess, Nifty declares. Yeah, Angel Dust surreptitiously lowers his voice. What happened to you, though?
Oh, I beat him off. Hard.
Lucifer says, and Angel Dust's eyebrows shoot all the way up. What?
Yeah, we just had a fight, but I won.
Lucifer grins proudly. Angel Dust lets out a long-suffering sigh, slapping two of his hands over his head. You little... He mimics strangling Lucifer's neck before putting his arms down. I don't know why I even talked to ya. Before he can even respond, Charlie taps into the microphone a few times, signaling the start of their recital. Hey everyone, sorry for that little interruption, but we're back and ready to perform.
The stage is mostly cleared of photographs by this point, but Lucifer can still see some people in the audience carrying a couple of images, tucking them away in purses or pockets.
Hey King, will you sign my photo? Someone echoes from the crowd, and he can hear tittering laughs ripple through the room.
Ha ha, very funny,
Lucifer says sarcastically. And then he thinks about it for a second.
Well, why not? After the show, though.
He shrugs, unconcerned. Dad! Really?
Charlie gapes at him. There's a collective gasp at this, and then a bit of a race to grab whatever remaining photos were left, the scuffling of shoes on our wood floors, and then finally, they all perform their song together, their musical ensemble echoing beautifully in the hush of the crowd. After they finish cleaning up the hotel, after everyone has left to their rooms, after everything, Lucifer plops down onto the couch in front of the fireplace, feeling drained in every single way. It's been a ridiculously long evening from start to finish, and he contemplates falling asleep right then, right there. He's already nodding off when Alastor materializes out from his shadow, stepping in front of the fireplace quietly.
Oh, what do we have here? Are you sleeping on the job?
What do you want?
Lucifer is so tired he doesn't even freak out at his presence. Alastor appears unaffected as always, but his smile gives him away, looking strained and tensed. About... Lucifer pauses. Today.
Lucifer shakes his head vigorously at this. No. Can we not talk about this? Can we not talk about it? Everything I did today was so extremely uncool.
There's the sound of footsteps approaching. Tip-tap, tip-tap, tip-tap. And when Lucifer lifts his head up, Alastor towers over him, looking uncharacteristically disheveled in his ripped clothes from this evening. Certainly a sight to behold, if Lucifer was being honest, considering how put together Alastor normally looked. Well, Alastor says casually, not everything. Your demon form was quite something.
Oh, liked what you saw, huh?
Lucifer smirks, fully anticipating for Alastor to roll his eyes, shoot back a witty retort, dismiss him with a scoff. Instead, Alastor's entire body stiffens and he looks away, purposely avoiding eye contact. It's so beyond his expectations that Lucifer feels kind of awkward, actually, and he sits up straighter on the couch.
Lucifer coughs. Okay, if you're gonna keep talking, sit down. I don't want to keep looking up at you.
What's the difference? Mercifully, Alastor reverts back to his smart aleck self. You're always looking up, aren't you?
Then leave, asshole.
I don't think you want that. Didn't you just invite me for a chat?
You're the one who came here to talk to me. I was about to go to sleep.
This doesn't look like your bedroom. Maybe you should get your eyes checked.
Just,
Lucifer leans his head back, glowering.
can you please sit somewhere, God?
I certainly will, since you asked so nicely. Alastor does look around for a seat, and somehow finding fault with every single chair, decides to sit down beside Lucifer on the couch. It's a small sofa, a bit of a tight fit, but Alastor still manages to leave a few inches of space between them. There's a long stretch of silence, where they're just watching the fireplace, and Lucifer bounces his leg anxiously, unsure what exactly Alastor was going to say next. It's then that he suddenly remembers a very important point.
Guess what?
Lucifer smiles slightly.
I told you I'd win our next fight. And I fucking did. The score is now 2-1.
Alastor narrows his eyes at him, vaguely displeased. I should have known you'd be a sore winner.
Well, if you go up against me, the result is already decided.
Lucifer cackles.
But you know what? You put up a decent fight.
It'll be my win next time.
Oh, sure. Maybe if I gave you some sort of advantage first.
Fuck you. Alastor growls, and Lucifer laughs harder, knowing that he's cornered him. It's nice, actually, just messing around together like this. And as they sit in front of the toasty fireplace, Lucifer starts to feel sleepy again, his eyes threatening to close. But then Alastor taps on his knee with his pointer finger.
Huh?
Lucifer turns to look at him. He's really close, and Alastor's red eyes are incredibly striking in this proximity. Where's my compliment for the day? Lucifer blinks in surprise.
We're still doing that?
Well, why not? Alastor shrugs. Friends exchange pleasantries, don't they?
Lucifer hesitates, gulps, feels nervous even though he's not sure why. Yeah, okay,
And Alastor has already made such a giant ass of himself today that he decides to keep going.
It was, nice hugging you.
Acknowledging their hug makes Alastor's body completely rigid, and he glances at Lucifer from the corner of his eye, his smile uncomfortable. Was it? His words come out a little bit strangled. Lucifer clears his throat.
Who doesn't like hugs? Right?
Alastor doesn't reply, and he digs his claws into the sofa, absent-mindedly tearing away at the fabric.
Okay!
God, it was getting unbearable here.
Your turn. What about my compliment?
Alastor continues to shred away at the couch. It was also... His claws completely rip up the claws, and Alastor stops himself, places his hand over his mouth as though to shut himself up, his eyes the only thing visible in the low light. The way he trails off sounds more like a thought in progress rather than an end point, and so Lucifer waits. And waits. And waits. It feels like an eternity passes before Alastor pulls his hands down onto his neck, smile unsure, eyes darting over to look at Lucifer briefly before ripping it away. It was quite the experience to hold you. And something warm blooms in Lucifer's chest. Lucifer takes in a deep breath.
About that.
Alastor drops his hands onto his lap, wringing his fingers together, almost anxiously. Oh? His voice is deliberately blasé. You are keeping me on the edge of my seat. It's Lucifer's turn to ignore his joke.
You know, if you wanted a hug, just do it. Don't even have to ask for permission or whatever. I'm not going to say no.
All he hears is the crackling of the fireplace. Lucifer peeks over, wondering if he had left or something, but he actually... Alastor had leaned in, placed one hand on the back of the couch right behind Lucifer, and he suddenly feels trapped, boxed in by the sheer size of Alastor's body hovering over him. And if I want to do it again? Alastor's voice is lowered, quiet. like they're sharing a secret.
Whenever, wherever. Lucifer's words keep slipping out without much thought. As much as you want. I'm a pinky promise.
Alastor sits back at this, and Lucifer can finally breathe again. Engaging in another deal with me so soon?
Not a deal.
Lucifer sticks his little finger out, like what they did all those months ago.
Just a promise.
No killing, no maiming, no questions asked.
Alastor's mouth twists into a smirk. You clearly didn't follow those terms.
Lucifer groans, and Alastor cackles at this, looping his little finger around his. This time there's no green lights, no dramatics, just a simple promise. Don't agree to things you can't deliver.
I'm serious.
Lucifer insists.
We already hugged, didn't we? And the universe didn't end.
And Alastor's smile grows and grows and grows. The universe did not end, Alastor repeats.
But Lucifer's world
blows up.